Hey guys, what's going on? Druzy here, back again with another South Park Phone Destroyer video, and I do apologize for the lack of content over the last couple of days, as I kind of went through a little bit of creative funk where I just really had struggles trying to come up with different ideas for episodes. But one thing that I did notice on one of the social media outlets for South Park Phone Destroyer is that somebody had posted a list of additions or changes that they would love to see come to the game in the relatively near future that would help grow the game and make the game a little bit better. So I decided to come up with my ideas for 5 specific items or things that Redlinks could do to the game to make the game better. Now, first and foremost, before I get into this list, there are far more than just 5 things that this game needs to make it a better game. I'm not saying that there's just only 5 things. Like, these are the only 5 things that they need and then the game is going to be perfect. I tried to pick 5 things that not only would grow and benefit the game in the long run for all player bases, and the fact that it'd be realistic that these are things that Redlinks could realistically do. Other things we would love to see happen may not be realistic, but these are 5 realistical things that I feel like should either already have been implemented or should have already been in the game or should be in the game by now. I mean, the game is almost 2 years old by this point as I'm recording this video. But again, these are things that are realistic that could happen or should happen, hopefully, here in the near future. Okay, so number 5, a PVE Monthly Reset. Now, what that means, and I have stated this multiple times throughout the course of live streams, I believe in other videos and content and stuff, that there should be some kind of PVE Monthly Reset. So the big thing is, this is a free-to-play game, right? But in a free-to-play game, as a company, Redlinks, Ubisoft, whatever, what have you, has a bottom line, which means they need to profit off of the game itself. So for our free-to-play players, there are not a lot of avenues for them to really increase their overall level caps of their cards very easily without being part of a good team and then getting lucky in events, things like that. But there might be a certain point where you really are struggling to get to that next level, maybe to get to Silver Shield or to get to even Legendary Arena. It would be nice to have some kind of way within the PvE landscape. You could have a monthly reset, which means you could focus on, say, just that specific region of PvE. Yes, there also needs to be added PvE avenues, like for neutral cards and even for superheroes. That would be great in the future. But for a realistical change is just take away that 15 of 15 limit on all missions and just remove it. Once a month, it just wipes clean. When we have the legendary reset at the beginning of every month, if there was a way that they could just wipe all that clean like we never ever did the levels, and then we can grind those things again. We can grind the lockers for PvE again. We can grind in possible materials, maybe cards, what have you, for the themes that maybe we want to focus on, or even all of the themes if we want to. If we want to go through and grind PvE every month, just to have more people, A, playing the game, and B, having a realistic way that free-to-play players can have a new avenue to be able to increase their overall level caps, make their cards better, and make their teams better for Team Wars, things like that. This is an easy fix, I feel like. Maybe it's not, but I feel like it's a realistic one that could happen to where we just wipe PvE clean every week, and PvE means the campaign missions, in case those of you are wondering what I mean by that. But if they just wipe those clean every single month, that would be awesome. That's a feature I hope comes. And again, it's something I've mentioned before, but felt like it needed to make this list. Another thing I've mentioned before that I really want at number 4 is a replay system. So a replay system would benefit a lot of different things. It would be able to help us be able to catch cheaters easier, because not a lot of people are able to record their in-game footage at all times, right? So if you had a replay system and you said, man, I really think somebody is cheating or something like that, you would have a better basis to say and verify whether or not that is true or not. Also, for me as a content creator, I'm a little selfish. A replay system would be nice to be able to watch over a match or to showcase a match in a video setting or whatever I want to do by having a replay system. Or you could show funny, weird matches to your clanmates, things like that. This is something that Clash Royale has had for a long time, and it's something that a lot of games have. A lot of games have the replay system. It's not just Clash. I'm not trying to compare this game to one specific entity. A lot of card-style games have a replay format. Now, I feel like it's something that would obviously take some coding and take some time to do, but in the lifespan of this game being almost 2 years now, I feel like this should have been something that should have been implemented, or at least something that should have been at least addressed or considered by the development team. Maybe it has, maybe it hasn't, I don't know, to where a replay system hopefully is something that comes in the future. I would love a replay system, and it doesn't even have to be every match you've played. Maybe it's 10 matches or 20 matches, doesn't, or even 5. I don't really care, as long as there's a replay system in place to where you can showcase possibly for, you know, myself as a content creator or other content creators, or just to be able to show a wacky game that you played for your clanmates, whatever, what have you, to where a replay system would be cool and a nice, fun thing to have. And also for the reporting aspect, if you want to go that avenue, to have something to be like, okay, here's something, here's proof that this person did that, yada yada yada. And I feel like that would be beneficial in a lot of different reasons, for a lot of different reasons. Coming in at number 3 is deck slot options. Now this is a vague term, so I'm going to explain this real quick, what I mean by deck slot options. So a lot of people, including myself, make it when the battle starts for Team Wars, for instance. So when battles start on Saturday, boom, you automatically get a deck slot every Saturday that kicks in defaultly for your Team Wars deck, right? So when you hop into Team Wars, or when you hit that battle button, there is like a specific button that automatically makes you have a Team Wars deck, or even have a button next to the fight button or whatever it is, or battle button for Team Wars, where you click it and you can select a deck slot for your Team Wars deck immediately. You just click a little button. It's like where would you like to put your deck slot? You get all your little deck options to go up, and boom. Ideally, I love a specific slot specifically for your Team Wars deck, to where you can then immediately go into friendly battles, or have a practice mode specifically for Team Wars, whether it's with clanmates or even with random people, that you can just play your Team Wars deck, play some practice matches for a few matches if you want to, and then get into the actual competition of it, or whatever, or what have you. But there needs to be different deck slot, a specific deck slot for Team Wars. Same thing with challenge mode. When challenge mode activates, have a specific button that you can press to build a challenge mode deck specifically for challenge mode. Then whenever you click fight for challenge mode, it's only going to select that specific deck for challenge mode. It doesn't take into account other decks in your other slots. It doesn't even take one of your freaking slots. So those 4 deck slots are just there for you to have and do what you want with it. There's a separate option for Challenge Wars or Challenge Mode, and a separate option for Team Wars. Those need to be completely different decks from your 4 deck slots. If you want to double the amount of deck slots to make it 6, 8, whatever, what have you, that would be awesome too. But I think it'd be better overall for everyone if you specifically had one for Team Wars, specifically had one for Challenge Mode, so there's not that extra confusion where you have to flip-flop decks all around all the time. That would be something that I would really love to see implemented in the game in the near future as well. This is one I greatly want. A friends list. For the love of God, let me be able to do friendly fights with anyone I want to that's on my friends list. If there's going to be a cap to friends list, so be it. Say it's 50 people, that you can have 50 friends. I'm sure there's been a ton of people that have been requesting to fight me in, you know, friendly fights. You can't do it unless you're in my clan. That's the only way you can do it. My clan is always full. Most clans are always full. There's no way to strategically move, flip-flop around with different things. If us as me as a content creator again want to play another content creator in friendly fights or do whatever, what have you, it would be awesome to have a friends list system to where then I can easily select Pharaoh, for instance, and say, okay, I'm going to fight Pharaoh, you know, 1v1. We're going to play a bunch of wacky decks and make a video compilation about it, whatever, what have you. It doesn't have to be just for that, but that's just a, you know, suggestion. But a friends list, the fact that I could have different people that I could do friendly fights with, it could help, again, for Team Wars or for Challenge Mode to practice out with a deck or what have you in friendly fights with a friends list option. Or you can even observe your friends list playing a match. You could watch them, similar to, again, Clash Royale, where you can watch other people play matches live because a friends list is active, and you can then watch their matches. That would be cool too. So that people could, if they can't watch my live stream, they could watch my gameplay live in person. They won't get the extra bit of commentary that I kind of do sometimes when I do live streams, but you would be able to at least watch the matches live if you want to while you're on your phone instead of just playing the game. So a friends list would be phenomenal. Please implement it. Red Links, I would greatly appreciate it. And coming in at number 1, the longest running joke in South Park Phone Destroyer is Serverside PvP. And every time I mention Serverside PvP, first off, the year that it's coming just continues to go on farther and farther and further. Now I think the running joke is 2025 or 25. I don't know. It's a long ways away. That's all I know. Serverside PvP was something that was promised to us, or I'm sorry, I guess promise isn't the right word. It was told that we would receive it possibly somewhere around summer of 2018. It's almost end of summer 2019. We still don't have it. And then other people will ask me, well, Druzy, what does server-side PvP mean? Well, server-side PvP basically means that it's dedicated servers specifically for the game in... It's not just region to region like it kind of is now. It's more or less that there's a centralized amount of servers for South Park Phone Destroyer specifically that will be able to allow monitoring of the game more effectively. It basically means that cheating will be much harder to accomplish because you won't be able to have the same ways to access the server and hack into it and alter it like you do now, because it'll be more dedicated and be able to easily to monitor. You won't be able to have people be able to hack in to your stuff, red links, and showcase and leak information sooner than you want. If you had server-side, they wouldn't be able to hack it as easily. It would be much more difficult, or you'd have to be much more skilled at hacking in order to get that kind of information. And that's something that's happened now with the last 3 or 4 cards that we've already known about what's going to happen. We know all their abilities and even their level 7 stats days before the card even comes out. So it would, you know, there's so much upside to server-side PvP. You wouldn't have double hitting Timmy's anymore. There would be a lot of these bugs and problems that we have are because we don't have server side. You also shouldn't have as much connection issues as we do now. So many people get DC'd for matches, have connection bugs with Wi-Fi connections, things like that. Now, Wi-Fi, obviously, you'd still need to be connected to the internet, even with server side. It's not saying like, well, I can still play this game offline and I wouldn't have to worry about it. No, you still have to have an active, relatively useful internet connection in order to be able to access server side still effectively. But I feel like it would still help with some of the connection issues if your internet's not the problem, it's the server itself, because you have more dedicated servers. There's a lot of upside to server-side PvP, and there's more to it than what I just mentioned. I don't know all of the benefits of server-side PvP, to be honest with you, but I know enough to say that it is a must, that we need it. And so, and you guys have mentioned it in the past. Redlinks as a team has mentioned it in their live streams that they hardly do anymore in the past, over a year ago now, that it was coming. It's still not here yet. Where is it? Is it ever coming? Probably not. That's why the joke is continuing that the server side will never come, because it continues to be delayed, it feels like, until an infinite amount of time. Will this game die before server side PvP comes? At this rate, maybe. I mean, that's the way it's looking. Hopefully it comes soon, because again, it's been promised for over a year now. But these are the 5 things that I think realistically Redlinks could do that would be helpful additions, fun additions, and useful additions to the game. Will it make the game infinitely better? No, but it's at least realistic enough to the point to where it won't hurt the game. Number one, and it's stuff that almost everybody has mentioned or I've seen in comments all the time, of that these are certain little nuances that people want within your game. And I don't know if I have any more. I'm not saying I have any more power than anybody else within this game's development or anything like that. None of us content creators really do. But I feel like I need to at least state 5 things that I'm interested in, and that many of you probably will agree with me on. And I'm sure many of you have many other additions you'd like to see. But again, like I stated at the beginning, there are a lot more than just 5 things that I would love added to this game. These are at least the top 5 that I would love to see. But do you guys agree, disagree with this list? What things would you do differently, or what would be on your top 5? Let me know down in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, guys, my name is Druzy.